to stay, and like they got their queen.
You know what's weird too?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. You want to?
No, go ahead. I got a point.
So I think it's just really weird too, is because to what Andrew was saying, with that reasoning too, they're sacrificing also members of their community that don't necessarily die in a sacrificial way. Like the redheaded girl, they're sacrificing her as being like, all right, you're just going to carry his kid because you're serving the purpose of separating Danny and Christian even further, you know?
That's just a theory, though. I'm not sure if that's actually.
No, I'm just saying based on that theory.
They also needed to bring outside people in to
continue
carry on. Yeah, preserve the bloodlines, but not be incest.
Right. Except for the oracles.
Except for the oracle. Those are deliberately inbred.
Right.
Quote, unquote. But what I was about to say, how Andrew was saying, like they with Danny, like they understand that Christian is like her last line to the world. Otherwise, she's completely alone. And that's like, I watched this video on YouTube by Acolytes of Horror. You guys should check it out, talking about Midsommar. And he talks about how the cult, like in Harga, like they use like classic cult techniques to draw you in. Like they're really nice. They treat you like family. And also they target people who are alone.
Okay, yeah.
Because those people are the most vulnerable, and they're the most likely to, like, when they get that emotional, like, support, they just, like, cling on to it.
I can totally see that.
And then by the end, like, on top of all the shrooms, they've just completely disconnected her from the real world, from society, from, like, her own reality, because she's just, like, tripping balls.
It's so true.
She's so unhinged.
They're, like, psychologically changing her, like, with the drugs, too. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, so, like, they just completely disillusion her, and that's how they, like, fully indoctrinate her. I think it's crazy by the end. And they kind of get you in on the movie.
Oh, my gosh,
the director gets you into the...
I won't lie. Well, watching it my first time especially, like, genuinely, so the whole time watching it, until I first saw the first, like, bad part happen, like, not even the two old people hopping off the cliff.
When Josh sneaks into the...
So...
to look at the
no,
book.
So yes. So until I saw Josh sneak in to see the book, and then
dude, I was watching that scene and I was like, they just had to kill the black guy first.
Yeah, like they continue with every horror movie stereotype.
It does turn out they actually killed two people before.
Well, they killed Mark
they killed
first.
him. They killed Mark and Simon.
But so
he
okay,
goes missing already. But,
so.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like, so before, and also like really messed up because the girl that Mark thinks he's gonna go sleep with ends up wearing his face.
That was her?
I think so, to kill Josh. Because he's like, "What are you doing in here, dude?" And like clearly,
yeah.
I was wondering, so whose face was that? Because I thought it was
that
like
was Mark's face on one of them. I don't know if it was a girl necessarily, but it was Mark's face on one of the girls.
Did you think it was the Oracle?
Wait, how'd they take his face though?
Mark's, because Mark went out with the girl to like sleep with her, but yeah,
it looked like Christian a little bit, but it was Mark.
It's Mark.
Interesting. Okay.
I
was wondering. I thought it was like maybe a inbred because the face looked weird. I'm like maybe, but I don't know.
No, it was definitely like a mouse face. Yeah,
not Ruby.
Yeah, but so I just think it's really interesting. So up until that scene, I genuinely, my first time viewing this movie, thought that there was going to be like some other influence, supernatural influence, that was supposed to be the scary part of this movie. I genuinely did not think it had anything to do with the people in the cult. I thought it might have had to do with something that they were praying to that would have like came out at night or something. I think that's the most like fantastic thing about the movie too, is like how they do that and how it's like it's them that is like the scary thing. And like you don't see that at first necessarily, which I think is so cool.
One of the things I really like about this movie is it's just so unsettling. Yeah. Yesterday, our friend Annie said, we were talking about it, me, her, and Aiden, and she said after watching that movie, she was like, I just feel like that's something I shouldn't have seen.
Oh, 100%. It's like not. I mean, kind of. It is kind of like scarring in a way.
Deep,
like
dark, like folklore that honestly, like, might even exist out there.
It's too real,
but would never get to the outside world.
He the director went like super far in every aspect, like the sex scene with Christian and
so
the ginger girl.
They had like the old woman gets behind him.
Yeah, they're pushing him,
shoving him.
It was really just bizarre. And they're chanting.
I hope that's not something that actually happens. If that's a real thing.
Oh, I hope not. But my biggest takeaway from this movie was not that it was... I didn't think it was a scary movie. I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah,
But
I don't think it's scary
yeah.
either necessarily.
Yeah, it's
I
not wicked scary.
thought this movie really just made me.
It's
I kind
like
of
a suspense movie in a
yeah.
way. A
I
thriller.
mentioned this mentioned this earlier, but it really just made me appreciate just like normal life and just like not because I really like that like kind of taboo like cult kind of life.
Right.
Yeah, some people are born into that shit.
I'm just really glad I'm in like a normal.
I think it's so true,
world.
like what Steve just said too. It's like it probably does exist somewhere out there, and it's one of
Yeah,
those things that
for
because
sure.
it probably does, we definitely will never know about it because those or like things that go on, if that is real, like they keep it so under wraps, you know.
A lot of crazy stuff in the
yeah.
world, but I feel like this movie really just went beyond.
Yeah. Andrew, what time are we at?
We're at 36 minutes.
That's
Bad,
not bad.
Shall we get to the day where things really start to escalate?
Yeah.
The May dance.
Yes. Yeah. Let's do it.
The best day of the festival.
Honestly,
Save
yeah.
the bestest for the restest or something like that. I don't even know. What I forget what it even that day starts with so that's the night before Josh and Mark get killed. And
Right.
they find Josh trying to take the pictures of the sacred text.
Also, before we go into that, real quick,
Yeah.
keep your thought, please.
Yeah, no, go.
Christian goes up to Josh and goes, "By the way, I'm just gonna do my thesis in the same thing you did." That
Oh,
was
yeah.
the most absurd
Yeah.
thing.
He's such an
Yeah.
He
asshole.
really
it
just
is.
threw him on the ground. Like he threw the character so irredeemable, and then
Who would think that would be okay?
yeah, literally not okay at
hey
all.
man, I know you dedicated your life to this and you brought
Yeah.
us here out of a
And
courtesy,
I hope this
but
is
I'm
his
also going
point.
to do it
I
too.
don't think this is his point, but when they talk to the old man, the elder talks to Christian and Danny.
Yes, the morning after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is you talking about?
Yeah, no,
They're going
say
to-
it.
yeah, they go. Yeah, Christian goes, "By the way, we had nothing to do with Josh. Like we weren't even friends with him or whatever. Like
we
anything he did is all his fault. It's
unassociated.
not our fault. Just I want you to know that. Like absurd.
Yeah, I think that's crazy.
I'm like this guy. Yeah, I feel like Ari Aster could have went a little more characterization of this guy and
Made
made
him
him
a
a
little
little
more
more
nuanced.
redeemable because I didn't
He
care at all.
doesn't. He doesn't have a lot of depth, honestly, Christian. I
You
would
really
say.
think because I didn't care about when he died.
Right.
But I want you still have your thought. Hopefully.
Yeah, no, I was
Okay.
just moving along, but that's how the day starts. Where
Yeah.
with the thing about the stuff getting stolen.
That's like the
And
last day, right?
yeah, and that's
It's
how
crazy
that's
how
how
long-
they cover
yeah.
up Josh and Mark going missing.
Right.
They were like, well, I know it could just be a coincidence, but the thing goes missing and them the same day. Like,
Right.
So that happens, and then, they're like, all right, so Christian, we'll talk to you in this house. Danny, you're gonna go with the woman, and then shroom tea, dancing, fun,
Well, also,
flowers.
I guess like we can add to just Christian's like shitty personality traits here too. He was like low key thinking about smashing the redheaded girl the whole time.
Oh, he was
like-
already on about it.
Yeah, like,
And
you know what I mean? Like-
Pelly was pushing it too. He told him, he was like, yeah, she had her
Yeah,
last year. He's like, what's that? He's like, well, basically it means she's ready to have sex.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. It's such a bad
Like,
person.
thanks, dude. Let me bang your 16-year-old sister.
Yeah, it's also so sus how that goes down, dude. They literally drug the man up. All right, but let's continue. Let's start because we're gonna get into that later. But let's start. So, Danny gets taken with the girls and they're baking, right?
Oh, we completely skipped over that dinner.
Oh,
should-
that's okay.
let's-
That's way before.
let's-
I'm sorry.
Let's talk.
I'm sorry.
No, let's talk about that dinner. Or wait, that's
not
before. That's because that's when all of them are still alive,
Right.
and they're at the dinner.
And that's
he
when
eats
she bakes the pubic
the
hair.
pube
like-
pie.
yeah, the pube pie.
That's what you were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where they like literally, it's so like it's wild too because I didn't pick it up the first time watching it. They literally show like a girl picking like one of her pubes and putting it into the pie.
Yeah, and the paintings.
Yeah, and the period blood too into the drink in the paintings. And like I didn't notice that on the painting at first, but definitely as you watch it, like if you look at the quilt, you literally see what's about to go down.
Yeah.
And it goes to what you were saying at the
The
beginning
whole-
of the movie, where they literally show the entire movie
They
right
always
at the start.
they always show what happens. What on the Mayfest dance day when they tell Christian to go talk to the lady and he has to like interview for mating basically.
Yeah.
He's sitting in the chair and he's looking directly at the wall and right there in front of him is a bear engulfed in flames.
Yep.
It's like, oh.
There's another little foreshadowing.
But no, Mark too, when he eats the pie, Christian's like, it's a hair or something, and Mark's like, that's a pube. That's a pubic hair.
That's a
How does
pubic
he
hair.
know? How does he know?
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to, if you guys don't mind skipping to this part,
Where
if
we're
we can touch on to the actual. So once they're shroomed up, and then we start the May May
Yes.
dance.
Yes, let's get to it.
The
Main event.
the main event, if you will. I want to get you guys' opinions on that. So, do you guys think that the girls in that ceremony lost on purpose, or do you think that she genuinely just won? Because it seems like everything is so planned down to a T, and so it makes me think or wonder. At least I wonder if like they made it seem like they were trying, but like
They definitely could have done that. I like how like they're Danny like bodies a few people at certain
Yeah.
points. I just laughed. I was like, gotta lay a few bodies on the grass to be the May Queen. Come on now.
I also have to say, just like adding on to the detail of the movie, each time that they're like on these shroom trips, it's so cool to see the cinematography of the movie.
Yeah.
Where, and they do it in different points during the other trips, but I want to bring out the point where, and this is a little further, but when she's sitting in the chair, and you see the flowers on her dress and on their headpiece, like literally breathing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is so cool.
Well, another part with the visuals that she has on the shrooms is when like in the beginning when they first get there and she has the grass growing through her hands.
Yeah, I just think it's really neat, like the little
And then
touches they
also
do.
it's growing through her feet while she's sitting in the or maybe when she's dancing.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I think it's just like really great use of cinematography because honestly, like if you look at other movies too, where they try to add like psychedelic effects into movies, I feel like they come off as like it's just like
It's almost as if they're
Yeah.
using a filter on
they're
Instagram.
using like a filter or
Yeah.
something. It's just like
You want
interesting,
you went the extra mile on this one to make it seem like as what it might
Like
actually
something that
be.
might happen.
Yeah.
Which is pretty
it's
cool.
it's not just like ooh.
Yeah, it's not like
effects.
weird music, cue weird music, and like But yeah, I think that was really cool. A good touch for sure on their filming aspect. But yeah,
So then Danny eventually wins the May dance.
right.
The May dance competition after she drops a couple more bodies. Like I said, to get to the top.
You
gotta put a few
knock
bodies in the
people
grass.
Down. Yeah.
Okay. But so then after she wins, everybody is so excited for her. Everyone, and before, when it's just her and the last two other girls, she looks over and everyone's got their hands up in the air cheering them on.
Yep.
And the only person who's just sitting there is Christian.
Who's on the
And
terrible trip?
She looks over and she gets sad. And it's like,
Well, that's
again,
like the
she's
little
all
flip.
alone, but the whole cult is like here
Yeah.
to support her.
Because I
And
noticed
she's starting
that too.
to feel that family. And then she finally wins, and then everybody's hugging her. And as she's walking through, did you guys notice the part where her parents and her sister walk right in front of her
Yeah.
in the
What?
robes?
I think so, yeah.
And she goes, Dad? Terry?
I
do
did
you-
not notice that.
Yeah.
In all my viewings, I have not noticed that.
They
What?
must have. They
So-
must have.
So do you think it was like the parents never actually died and the sister was like all part of this cult and it was all planned? Or was it a shroom hallucination?
I think she was hallucinating.
I think so too.
But also-
at this point she was
Now I'm gonna have to like
delirious.
rewatch this movie again. That actually
gotta watch
this is
it.
towards the end of the movie. This happened.
Yeah, when she
Yeah.
just won the thing.
when she just won it, yeah.
How have I not noticed it? That is absurd. That is crazy. That's a cool little touch they do there.
They
for sure.
They definitely must have planned her winning because like they brought the only guy that was there, I'm pretty sure. Only like there's a few guys there maybe, but Christian was one of the only guys there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they had him on a drug, so they kind of had him like maybe sedated a little bit, so he wouldn't
Yeah.
like even notice her winning. So I feel like they're kind of just like, trying to
Yeah,
show.
He was fucked up at that point.
They were just trying to show her that like, all right, screw this guy, we're gonna sacrifice him when you win this thing.
Yeah.
I think they were setting that whole thing up.
And Pell makes out with her.
Yeah.
like, 2 seconds
What a
after she
creep.
sees her parents.
What a creep.
I don't know, like, so when she does notice Christian, you already commented on it too, but her mood like 100% changes. It's interesting because from that point on,
Her face almost shifts.
yeah, her face does shift, and it's weird because
And
from
that's
that point
with,
on,
like the shrooms and visuals, like everything's kind of shifting
right?
at this point.
But I don't know, it's just weird because she doesn't seem happy anymore. Like she's like there, and like she has like these like little like chuckles and laughter, but like even at the end when like it's like the final scenes and like she's like staring off, like she does not seem like she's thrilled to be a part of it anymore. She's like kind of like stern, which is
Yeah,
weird. You'd
she-
expect her to be like happy that she found a new family, and maybe she is, but I don't know. It's just really interesting to me how like from that point on in the movie she has like straight face. She's like
Well,
very serious.
She has a straight face. at that point, and then at the end she smiles. So maybe that was her kind of like remembering the good old days of like her old life, and then she kind of comes into life with her new life.
Could be